Okay, just started to record. I'm glad I remembered that. But anyway, so just a recap for the recording, but we're talking about Kelly Brown, Ambassador Diamond, went from a $3,000 paycheck, paid as double diamond, all the way to Ambassador Diamond in just a few months. And I love this part of her story that she shared because it was just so vulnerable. I just, like, there's something special about ambassador. Like, you deserve the title, you deserve the credit, like, you made it, you're at the top, like, yes. But when an ambassador is so vulnerable and she shared that on the last day of the month, she was still like thousands away from the 250,000 in volume needed. And then she was like, and at the like last final hours, we went over 250, and she's like, I ended with 252,000. She's like, I went ambassador by 2,000 GV. And that, like, for some of you, your GV isn't even 2,000 yet. So that's hard to even like fathom. But when you're up there, 2,000 is such a little amount. And she's like, I barely went ambassador. And that to me was just like so refreshing. Cause as I was saying, like, I feel like when you're at the top, it's like you're at the top, and like, it's almost like, I don't want to be telling people that I barely got ambassador. You want to be like, yes, I did it. Like, ambassador, whoop, whoop. And she's just like, no, I'm just going to be real with you guys. Like, I barely made it to ambassador. And I loved that. So that's a little bit just of her story. If you want to know her legit real story, like from her mouth, you need to go find a video of her sharing her story. It is amazing. I cry listening to her, just because it's like, it's so powerful and so real too. It's just so real. She's very honest about it. But one thing that she said that me and Ashley actually discussed, like, we both were like, oh, we watched this and I loved this. And Ashley was like, oh yeah, me too. Like, that's what I was going to say. Or it was probably the other way around. But one thing that Kelly does every single month is she has a minimum goal and a maximum goal. And like, she's of course working for the maximum. So like, I don't want you guys to take this as like, okay, I'm going to do it's not like an easy goal and a hard goal. It's like two hard goals, but one's even harder than the other one, So I loved that, because I was like, I'm going to start doing that, because I'm going to push for the really hard goal. But then I know that when the month is winding down and I can take a look at it, like, the month's not ending until I reach my minimum goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, come hell or high water, minimum goals happening. And it's still hard. It's not like I'm going to get like one more LC this week. No, it's like, shoot for the stars. And what's that saying? Like, shoot for the moon. And if you don't reach the moon, you'll at least reach the stars, or whatever it is. I butcher every quote, but I think you guys get the idea. So 2 big goals, 1 minimum, 1 maximum goal. So I want you guys to do that this month. I know we're already like halfway through the month, but it's not too late to kind of like adjust your goals a little bit. I did it, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited to reach that maximum goal. And I just know that the minimum goal is going to happen no matter what. Like, when the clock strikes midnight and the fat lady sings, like, minimum goal done. Ash, do you have anything that you wanted to add about that? I mean, I don't know that there's much more to elaborate on that, but you're welcome to.
No, not for what you've already said. Other than like, you kind of just said this, but when talking about a minimum goal, she said basically it's you are not going to sleep until that goal is reached. And so her example was, if you are, let's say you're a Ruby, but your goal is diamond, then your minimum goal, and you were paid as Ruby last month, then your minimum goal is going to be to promote to Emerald, not to maintain Ruby. So I think you guys get the idea. I won't harp on that too much, but basically the main point of that is to not set the bar low when it comes to minimum goals. It still needs to be something that you have to actively work towards, but I absolutely love that. And I've already been I already set mine, and I've been talking to my team today about what theirs are. And I want to start implementing this like every single month, having a minimum and a maximum.
Sorry, I'm like adjusting over here. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited for 2020. I spent probably too many hours yesterday getting my office all set up, and it's like my lady cave now. Like before it was just like a hot mess up and down, and now I have like everything exactly where I want it. And you know, it's like my space. Like when I walk in, not my space like Tom, it's like my space, like this is mine and I feel good in here, and it just makes me excited. Like I got goals all over the wall, I got calendars, and Phil got me a whiteboard for my birthday. Like if you're getting a whiteboard for your birthday, you're serious, then that's what's happening right now. So I have a whiteboard here. That's why I readjusted, because I got notes over here that I want to share with you guys. Okay, 2 things that I want to share. One was not in the Kelly Brown video, but I started talking about it with Kat, and I was like, oh, that's good. I need to share this with the whole team. It's not like rocket scientist stuff. It's so basic, but it's just like a memory jogger, or just like an idea jogger, I guess, because I don't know how many times a day I get messages from this team that's like, especially newbies, which, hello, they're new. So I'm like, I'm not mad that you guys are messaging me, but they're saying like, I don't know what to post, or like, or you're not a newbie and I see you're not posting, and I'm like, hey, you're not posting, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just like so uninspired right now, or whatever. Like you don't know what to post, or you're just not feeling it, so it's hard to post or whatever. So some content ideas. I want you to take out a pen and a paper and write this down. And I was like debating on whether we would actually take time to like really develop these ideas, but I decided against it. Instead, I'm just going to give you guys my ideas, and then it's your homework to like expand on this and really make it your own. But if you do this is enough content for like at least a month, maybe more. Okay. Pen, paper, iPad, whatever. Got it? Okay, here we go. Content ideas. Write down 10 pain points. If you don't know what a pain point is, basically it's just the things that you personally or that people would be struggling with. So, thank you, Rochelle. So like, you know, a really nitty gritty one would be like struggling to keep the electric on, you know, like that's deep, you know, that's a biggie. Or like red slips, you know, like evictions, that's huge, but that's painful. That's a pain point. You know, something, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you guys get the idea. Like, what are 10 pain points that people might be having right now? And bonus points if it's pain points that you are personally having or that you have had, because then you can share a very relatable story about how you were once there or how you are there right now. And this is going to take getting a little bit vulnerable, but you guys want to know what? If you get vulnerable, I bet you're not going to be messaging me asking me why you're not signing distributors, because you will be. You'll be signing the distributors that are seeing these terribly painful posts, that are suffering these same exact things. So 10 pain points, write them down. And you can, like I said, you can develop the post later. These are just ideas. Now, 10 objections. You guys all know what objections are because you get them every single day. But you're replying to these objections and put in messages. Why not address everybody with these objections in your post? You don't have time, neither do I. I'm a busy college student, I have 2 jobs, blah 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 blah. You don't have the money, neither did I. This is what I did. Those are objections. You guys know what the objections are. Write down 10 that you can think of. Next thing, so that's already 20 posts. Boom, you're welcome. Next thing is 10 friends stories. This should not be that hard because you can legit like go to 10 top leaders pages, find their stories if you don't know them, and then share them. These could be like, I posted one today about an ambassador diamond who she might be prez, I don't even know, but a top leader who just reached the Millionaires Club, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's when you have earned at least $1 million in your business, you're part of the Millionaires Club. I posted that because that counts as a story. Like, just because it's not like this rags to riches story, it's a story. So, I mean, even if you just look on the Zoom and you're like, I'm going to do Rochelle's story, Shelby's story, Ashley's stories, Bree's stories, Katie's stories, Hope, Gloria, Julia, Blanca, and Android phone. Like, there you go. There's your 10 stories. Go ask them what their story is and share it. That's 10 posts. And you know what's great is all our stories are probably different. And so now you're speaking to a mass of people because you're relating to so many different people. Like, if all 10 of our stories related to 10 other people, that's 100 people, right? Maybe. I don't do math very good, but I think it's 100. Okay, next thing. Now, this one can be a little bit tricky, but have fun with it. Think of 10 different ways to tell your story. So you know what your like big story is, you know, like the big thing. And that's one post right there. But then think of some other little things, like what's something that you love that you couldn't buy because of it works. Like, I'll never forget Jocelyn Yates did this post about, she took a picture of her big, beautiful bed with like 50 throw pillows on it. And she was like, I just love my bed. I love throw pillows. And if I'm being honest, like I wouldn't have been able to afford this type of bedding if it wasn't for It Works. And I remember thinking like, this post is kind of dumb. And then I saw how many comments were on it. And I was like, this post is genius. I love her. And I'm going to probably copy this later. But think of different ways that you can tell your story. It doesn't always have to be exactly the same. Like, I started 5 years ago for an extra $500 so that I could help pay the bills. And now blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't always have to be the whole story. It can be little things. So find 10 different ways that you can tell your story. Next is vision casting for your future. So you don't need to like brainstorm 10 different ways that you can vision cast. But if you just write down vision casting here and remember, like every couple of days, I've slacked off on this one. I remember months ago when I went prez and triple and double, like when I was promoting through the ranks, I was screaming from the rooftops about how our team had these huge goals, how excited we were, how people were just promoting. Like, even if we weren't, I was talking about it because I was just manifesting it. And I stopped doing that. And it's so like, we need to get back on that. That gets people fired up. That gets people, like the people that are watching and they're seeing our story and the objections and the pain points and all the stuff. They see that vision casting and they're like, oh, Shelby's team is killing it. I want to be on Shelby's team, you know? So that's another great thing. Every couple of days, don't forget to shout out that. And some other ideas of vision casting are like, what are your dream board? Or your goals or whatever, what are some of the things that are written down there? Talk about them and talk about them like they're going to happen. And sometimes like they already have happened. That's all vision casting, and people are going to see that. Cheyenne Knox says it all the time that in her first couple months or whatever, the $10,000 diamond bonus is on the table. And she told everyone that it was hers. She told everyone that she was earning that $10,000 bonus. And what I love about this part of her story is she didn't earn it. And so she talked about it like she was going to, and like she already did, and then she didn't earn it. And I love that, because then it's like, well, did she just like go crawl under a rock and quit It Works and like stop talking to everyone on Facebook? No, she kept going and she kept talking about it. And then she did earn it, and she's earned thousands more in bonuses. So talk about it like it's going to happen and like it's already yours. Like, I don't care if you're executive and it's your dream to go double, talk about double like it's yours. People are going to see that and they're going to get excited about it. The next thing after vision casting, and this is kind of the same thing, I think I just got excited a little bit, but team shout outs, shouting out your team. Kaylee just got her shopping spree in her first week. Stephanie's like 2 orders from going Emerald or Ruby or whatever. Just stuff like that, like shouting it out, because people are going to be like, again, her team's killing it. What's setting me apart from Susie Q, It Works distributor? We're both on Jess's social media and she's like liking what she's seeing, but like, why is she going to pick me over Susie Q? If she sees my team is killing it and that I'm like supporting my team, she's probably going to pick me. So shouting out your team. If you don't have, and this is a huge tip, if you don't have a team, if you don't have any distributors below you, we are your team. So like, for example, Ashley and Rochelle are on 2 different legs. They are not on the same leg. They're both underneath me, but they're not on the same leg, right? Well, Ashley, if she doesn't have anything like really popping off right now, she can like talk about Rochelle's wins on her team. And I do that all the time. Like, if I didn't have anyone promote this month, well, when I say if I didn't, like all of you guys are on my team, but if I didn't have anyone that I personally enrolled promote, but I see Rochelle posting how someone just went Ruby in her downline, I'm going to talk about it like they're mine, like that girl's mine, And it goes for you guys too. Like, we are all a team, and we can shout people out like they're ours, because they are. We're all one team, one mission. We are a team. So shout it out what's going on your team. And then the last thing, last thing is, all of us are doing self-development, right? It's like the number one thing that we should all be doing every single day. We have to be, I see Esperanza, whoop girl, yeah. And I love self-development, one, because it fills my cup and I need it. But another thing that I've recently learned that I love about it is it gets my creative juices flowing. And I'm like, oh, that quote was good. I can do a whole post around that. Or like, I might not have a whole post around that, but I can just post that quote and it's almost like a filler. Like, I'm going to get people excited. I don't really have anything to say right now, but that was good. So I'm just going to take what Les Brown has to say or whatever, And the same thing goes for just like quotes too. I told you guys before that sometimes when I'm feeling just uninspired, I'll go over to Pinterest and just type in like motivational quotes or boss babe quotes or whatever. Sometimes I'll even do like spiritual quotes or like biblical quotes or whatever. And I'll read the quotes until one of them gets me inspired. So that's just another way to have some content. So I think Rochelle put them all in the chats, but I'm just going to say them again really quickly, because this, you guys, if you really build these things out, you should have like months of content right here. So that's right, Rochelle. I know you're like trying to, be with your family and that kind of stuff. Okay. Number 1, 10 pain points. Number 2, 10 objections. Number 3, 10 friends stories. And when I say friends, I really mean like anybody in the business, anybody who you can track down their story, share it, or don't share it. Like, when I say share it, I mean like make a post about it. 10 ways to tell my story, your story, vision casting, team shout outs, and then self-development, what I learned from it, quotes from it. So that's just a whole bunch of content ideas, you guys, and I hope that that was helpful, and I can't wait to see everyone's posts start pumping out. And some of you are amazing at posts and you're like, that was not helpful. I'm just kidding. You probably aren't thinking that was not helpful, but you're like, oh, my creative juices are always flowing. I can just post away and I'm good to go. But for me, I will get in like a total block. And then I realized I didn't post all day. And I'm like, shoot, if only I had planned just a little bit, like just the day before. And I think Rochelle and my husband, Phil, were even talking about this past weekend too. He's like, poor Rochelle, he's like picking her brain every time they get together. But he was like, okay, so tell me everything. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. But he specifically asked, like, during these like 90-day runs, or like last year when you double promoted to double or triple and Prez, and Brian from double to triple, like, what were some of the things you were doing? Like, what did your schedule look like? And one of the things Rochelle said is that she took like a full day or several hours to plan out like a month's worth of posts. I don't know if you said a month, but like you took a significant amount of time to plan.
Yeah, it was a week. So I would do a week's worth of posts, and I would do it when I was inspired. So if I had a bad day, or, if I didn't get to talk to my brother, because back then, like when we were promoting, you guys, my little brother was facing trial. Most of you know this. And so I had to cling to the moments where I was doing really well and when I was inspired about this business, to use those for my posts for that week, so that I knew that if something went down, like there's always ups and downs in your weeks, you know what I mean? And so when something went down and I couldn't think of a post, I already had one set and ready to go when I was inspired. So that's one thing. And what else? There was something that I wanted to tell you guys really, and I always forget this stuff. I did a Zoom with Amber Parker this morning with just her leaders. She asked me like super last minute to hop on and do a Zoom with them, which was actually super awesome. And I was really honored to do that. That was really fun this morning. But one thing that I actually took away that I wanted to share with you guys was that she is planning everything. Like, she's like, I'm not playing anymore. Like 2020 is a year that I have goals and I have all these things I'm doing. Like, of course she had goals this year too, right? But she's like, I'm not leaving anything to chance anymore. And I'm going to plan everything. Excuse me. Posts are going to be scheduled in the team page. Posts are going to be scheduled on my wall. Like she was just doing all of these things of like, she had no excuses so that things could be scheduled. And right then and there, she's asking all of her leaders and she goes, I've asked several of you to pick a day and none of you have. And you guys, we're on a Zoom with leaders, like sitting there with their faces looking at us like this. And she's like, none of you have picked days. So say them. What days work for you? I'm like, I love her because she's so yellow, as in like when you see her on Zooms a lot of the times, or when you meet her in person, you're like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. And like, she wouldn't hurt a fly. And then I got to see her interact with her leaders. And it was like, I was like, oh, should I be here right now? Like, should I go? Brian, can you make me some coffee? Like, I don't know what's happening. But it was so cool to see, because that's the type of leader that you want, right? You want a leader that can like cry with you and like help you through things, but you also want a leader that's going to call you out on your crap and be like, hey, I've been asking you like for a while now what days you want. So now that we're all here, write down in the chats what days you want. And she was like writing them down, like, okay, good. You got Tuesday, you got this, you got that. And so one thing that I loved, and I actually wanted to share this with Shelby and Ashley, but I'll just share it with the whole team, is that she's having her leaders pick a day and have them go like share 4 posts a day. And so they're sharing like a tip from self-development. Okay, so do you guys see like this reoccurring theme of self-development isn't just for you. Self-development is for you to be able to repeat it to your team, just like Shelby just said. Okay, so everything that you guys hear us say and you're like, wow, that was so cool, or that quote was so awesome, or whatever, we didn't just pull out of our butts, okay? We learned that from a book, or we learned that from a podcast or something. We're always just repeating information. That's what self-development is. So don't ever feel like you don't have anything to say. If you don't have anything to say, go listen to a book for 30 minutes and you'll have a bunch to say, right? So it's really easy to, sorry if you guys can hear the TV in the background. It's really easy to get out of that funk when you're not feeling inspired within 30 minutes of turning on a book. anyways, and then like there was a couple other things that I can't remember, but my point of this is I love that she got really in tune with, okay, if you guys aren't going to do this, this is what you're going to do, and this is what we're doing. And she's leading her team. So if you don't have any people on your team yet, that's okay. You will, right? But lean on those people that are around you. Lean on those people that you see on this call. Get an accountability partner. And when you do have a team, now you know how to lead them, and you know, as long as you know where you're going, they're going to follow. But you have to plant your feet and put one foot in front of the other and know where you're going so that they can follow. Because if you're not willing to walk, okay, if you're not willing to walk in that faith, they're not going to know how to walk behind you. Okay, so you have to always lead that. One other thing that I loved, and I'll turn it right back over to Shelby. I know this is kind of off topic, but one other thing that she said that was like my biggest takeaway was that she doesn't do anything that doesn't bring her joy. Okay, so now this isn't me telling you not to do host to posts. Okay, so listen up. This isn't me telling you that. But what I love about it is she said, I wrote down a list of things that made me have joy about this business. Pop-ups, parties, events, those kinds of things actually bring her joy. She loves getting out in front of people, talking about the business, about the opportunity, blah, 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 blah. That brings her joy. Host to post, she hates. It doesn't bring her joy. Therefore, she can't be fulfilled by it. Therefore, she doesn't get results with it. Okay, so if you're a host to post queen, keep doing it. That works for you. You love it. You're fulfilled by it. But it's not fulfilling to her. This was an aha moment to me, because it's okay to do things differently than the people around you. Okay, if you are being successful, if you are signing, if you are completing your steps to success, don't look left and right. What she was saying is, if you're driving a car and you look into the other lane, what are you going to do? You're going to crash. You're going to crash because you're not going that way, and your car is going to start veering this way, right? So stop looking left and right if what you're doing is working. Okay, so I loved that because it was something that I personally struggle with, not with comparing. This is different than comparing. Okay, comparing would be like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl's doing so much better than me, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. It's about, okay, well, now I'm here and what's worked for me isn't really working right this second. What do I need to change? What I need to do? And then you look over here and you're like, well, she's doing that and she's obviously being successful, so maybe I need to do that. That's not staying in your lane. You need to stay in your lane. Come here. And anyways, that was just really awesome for me to hear. Hi. Was that, oh, and then the last thing that she said is sometimes, oh, baby fell. Okay. Sometimes people will ask her to go live in her team page. I love this. And she's like, I won't do that because I only go live when I feel called to, like when I feel like I have something to say, then I go live. If I'm just asked to go live, then I don't feel like I bring the same fire and passion. Don't touch, baby. Hold on, don't touch. B, can you help a little? So she's like, no, I get it. Thank you. Honey, thank you. Here you go. Thank you. Hold on, guys. So here's a baby.
You were saying she won't go live unless she's like feeling called.
Oh, yes. So, and some of you might not agree with that. That's totally cool. But my point of this was, it was really awesome because that's who she is and she's okay with that. And it helped me to see, like, if I don't like doing something or if it doesn't bring me joy in my business, that doesn't mean that, like, if I, first of all, who doesn't like signing loyal customers? But like what I was going to say is, like, if I don't like signing customers and it doesn't bring me joy, then I'm not going to do it. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like things like income producing activities. Sometimes we don't like, we have to do it. Right. But there's ways that you can do things that are all about, that bring you joy. And it just, I don't know. I can't really bring this home because I'm just like out of it right now with what just happened. But basically just know that you are you for a reason. And I love that you can do the things for you that bring you joy in this business, and you don't have to do what others are doing to be successful. Hopefully that all made sense. I'm going to mute myself now.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I really love it. I think that, like, right now they're really like pushing, and I don't mean pushing in a bad way, but they're like pushing it because it got so away from us. They made pop-ups so easy for us. like with the Amazon link to go be able to buy everything, and with all the stuff you can print out, and just have like the menu, like all of it. They made it so easy for us, and they're pushing it because there's people who have joined in the last year or 2 years who don't even know that that's a thing, because social has been so heavily taught. And so they're pushing it hard, because there's people like, I'm looking at Kaylee right now. She like she's shared with me that she like can't wait to go to a pop-up. But if It Works hadn't have pushed this, I would have never told her about it, because it's not my thing, and she would have never known. So they're pushing it hard so that it can become made known, so that the people that this type of thing does bring joy to, they can go out and do it, and they have all the resources to do it. For me, I want to throw up a little bit thinking about doing this. I'm a blue. I love people and I love to be around people. But for some reason, like this type of thing, no, like I just want to be under the table instead of by the table. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't bring me joy. And I do think there's a fine line of like getting uncomfortable and getting outside your comfort zone. I do think that that's a good thing. I think that staying in your bubble and your comfort zone is never going to get you to your full potential and to your dream rank. But if you do it and then you do it again and you hate it and it's not bringing you joy, then stop doing it. Same thing for Amber. She didn't just hear about Host a Post, I'm assuming this, and decide like, nope, that's not for me. She did host a post, and she did it again, and she did it again, and to the point where she was like, I hate this so much. So it is a balance, and never just like, never not do something without at least trying it, but figure out what's for you and stay in your lane. I've struggled with this so much in different seasons of my business, where I'm like, okay, like for example, Brittany Hayes, she's in Ambassador Diamond, and she like always has like full makeup on and has like blogger style posts, and they're like 14 paragraphs long and like perfectly worded. And I'm just like, okay, I can't do that, but I'm going to try. And then I try and then I fail. You know what I mean? Like, embrace who you are, do what brings you joy. And yeah. So, Ash, question for you. Did you get anything out of the part where Kelly was talking about like casting your net and doing like the consecutive posts and like the jab, jab, hook technique?
Yeah, it made me want to puke.
Do you want to talk about, I have notes on it and it got me excited, but do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Because it like really, it was one of those things that where it was like, wow, I'm just not really, my problem is I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm just not doing enough of it. So this was very, very, very interesting, and correct me if I get the numbers wrong, but basically, to start off with, you guys are going to sign what you post about, what you're talking about. So if you are trying to go Ruby and you need one more distributor, then you're most likely going to be trying to talk about, or you're going to be talking about the business, right? And that can be what Shelby said earlier. There's a bunch of different ways to tell your story. But she said you need to be posting 3 times a day for 4 consecutive days. And it has to all be about that specific thing. Not all, but hear me out. So let's say today is day 1 and I'm trying to get a distributor or multiple distributors, however many. So I'm going to, first in the morning, I am going to tell my story in a post. And then the next thing I'm going to do is a story. And I'm just going to talk about, it could even be almost the same thing as you said in your post, because different people are seeing this stuff. So I'm going to do a story, and I'm just going to say how thankful I am that I'm sitting in the car line right now, waiting to pick up my daughter because I get to be home with them. And I'm just going to talk about how amazing that is. And this is why I joined the business. And then the third thing that day is going to be, I'm looking for 4 other mamas out there who are wanting to stay home with their kids. You know, and it can be short and sweet, but basically, and in between all of that, I'm still talking about life. Like, I'm still doing other stories consistently throughout the day, nothing about the business, just sharing my life, all the usual things, but I have to have at least 3 business posts in there. She said on the 4th day of doing this, you should have people coming to you to join your team, whether it's commenting on your post, messaging or replying to your story, voting on your polls, whatever it is, you should have people coming to you. If for 4 consecutive days, you do 3 posts a day. And then the exact same thing for customers. All right, so on day 3, I just signed my distributor on Box for Ruby. Now I need volume. Exact same thing as before. Now you're going to be talking about the products, and you're going to, same idea, post about it, do stories, polls, all of those things. And by day 4, you should have people coming to you. And that was just a huge eye open. And I know for any of you, especially if you're newer and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't want to drive people crazy. And I know this isn't a social media training, but just remember, guys, that people are on social media at all different times. And the same person is not going to see all 3 posts. Okay, so just if you are, you know, let's say you started this tomorrow, whoever sees that very first business post, if you do it in the morning, they're probably not going to see your 3rd one that night. Just between the algorithm, the times people are on, and time zones, all of that. So just do not let that keep you from doing this, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to do it. Like, it makes me sweat a little bit, and I don't know why. Like, I don't mind posting. I used to freak out about Facebook, but I don't anymore. But yeah, she calls it the jab hook, because you're posting, and now you're signing people because of being consistent. So no, I'm going to stop there. Did I touch everything on that topic?
Yeah. And you guys, to me, it was just like a wake up call. Like, okay, I need to ramp up my content, and that's why I wrote down these content ideas to share with you guys, because for a while, and I don't know if it was like once I went prez, or if I heard like little, you know, chirping in my ear, again, staying in your own lane, but like, oh, you don't have to post as much. And I don't mean like because I went prez, I just mean like, oh, things have changed, you don't have to post as much. And like, yeah, maybe it was true, but I will say that when I stopped posting as much content, and I take a look back, my enrollments are down. So like, maybe I should start posting more again. So with that, you just need to have a plan. You need to make sure that you're being inspired. You need to make sure that you have some ideas to post. If you guys go look at my Facebook, you might die, but like, I think I posted, or you're like, oh, okay, no big deal, because you've always posted a lot. But like, I started getting down to like 2 posts a day, like opportunity, product. That was it. You know, it was like, if I'm talking about something, I'm going to pop the opportunity in there somehow. And I'm going to talk about my skinny coffee, like, check, day over, like, let's go. Of course I was doing like my 6 lists and stuff, but posting, it was like bare minimum. And if you go look at just today on my Facebook, I didn't do it on my Instagram, but on my Facebook, I think I've posted 5 times already, just posts. Probably not going to post anymore. I think I'm good for the day. But like, I did 3 opportunity posts, and they weren't all 3 like, this is my story, drop text opportunity. Like, they didn't all have like a super strong call to action. And that's what I got out of the jab hook. It's like, I'm going to jab you by telling you a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of what's going on. I'm going to jab you again, give you a little bit more, and then I'm going to jab you again. And then when you least expect it, I'm going to right hook, and boom, you're going to join my team. So that's what I got out of it. So to me, it's like posting more. And personally, I'm not like, my goal right now is distributors, but I'm not going to not post about the products. So that's why I had 5 posts up today, because I also posted about my skinny coffee weight loss. So I'm talking about all the things, but I'm doing it in a way to where it's not super repetitive. And if you guys need an example, you can go look at my Facebook for the whole day. And I even managed to get in just like a lifestyle, like not It Works related post whatsoever, talking about my boys. So I got 5 posts in today. I jabbed the heck out of people, and I'm going to do it, just like she said, continuously for 4 days. And I can't wait. I mean, I don't know if it's just coincidence or if it's all the seeds I've been planting and all the prayer I've been doing, but today, like, I have felt a major shift as far as like this month. There's been a big shift within me personally, to where I'm just like so excited. Like, you could literally come slash my tires and I would probably still just be like, boom, 2020, can't wait. But today specifically, there was a shift in my business where I have been planting. And today I had multiple people reach out to me about the business. I had 2 or 3 people reach out to me about products. One of them asked me for the link to order, but hasn't ordered yet, because then she was like, wait, tell me about the business. Like, guys, today things were just popping off. And I felt this just like huge shift. And maybe it's a coincidence that I just happened to post like more than normal today, or maybe it's just like algorithm weird stuff. But like, guys, things are happening. And so if you're not feeling that shift, maybe start ramping up your content, maybe actually take note of what's being said here and give it a try tomorrow and see what happens. But I want to know, raise your hand. And maybe it wasn't like today, this like big thing you felt. For me, it was, but raise your hand if I just want to see, like, and maybe you're brand new and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but raise your hand if you personally feel like this stirring inside of you, like something's happening. Like, there is a shift happening in this company right now that's like almost unexplainable. That's what's happening inside of me. And I don't even know how to explain it really, other than just like, almost like, I don't know. It's just, I feel it and I'm so excited for it. And I hope that you guys feel it too. I see a lot of you raising your hands, a lot of you commenting, and I'm just like so excited. I cannot wait. And I don't know what time it is. Okay, we only have a couple of minutes left. So Rochelle and Ashley, unless you have anything to say, I'm going to kind of like release us early, a couple of minutes early. And I don't know, I just, along that whole like shift, I feel it so hard is, I feel it so hard. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You guys don't worry about that. There's a shift happening, and I just want you guys to know, whether you're new, you've been with the business for a while, that you are right here, right now for a reason. And I'm so happy that you're here on this team with us. And I cannot wait for every single one of us to just like have so much abundance going into 2020 and throughout 2020, and just reaching our goals and just seeing all of this, all the things that we prayed for and all the things that we asked for happen. Because it's going to, you guys, like it's right there, and we're so close, and everyone's here for a reason. So just get ready, get your goals ready, get your content ready, get all the things ready, because it's about to happen. And I just want you guys to be ready for it, because once it's happening, it's like one of those things where once the train gets rolling, there's no slowing down, there's no turning back. It's just forward, and it's forward fast. So get ready for it. Rochelle and Ash, do you have anything you want to say before we exit out of here?
Nope, I'm just ready. I'm ready.
Good.
Same. I'm good. I'm ready.
All right. All right, girls. And if there was any guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. We recorded it, thankfully, so I will pop it on the team page. Love you all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.